To another edition of the award-winning Get in the Herd podcast, brought to you by the McShin Foundation. Today we are in the studio with the ever amazing and lovely Dixie over here. Dixie, what's your last name? Lewis?
Yeah.
Ooh, all right.
You got it.
I was thinking Dixie Carter, but I know that's an old reference. I'm old. And over here to my right, we've got the incomparable, the astounding, the walking big book.
Uh-oh.
Chris.
That's
Chris
a hell of an
Berry.
introduction.
That's a good. I'm looking around for somebody else. Like I need some help.
Well, you're probably wondering why have I asked you in the studio today? And essentially, you're right. Why have we asked you into the studio today? So, what we're doing today is we're talking Thursday recovery. Thursday. So today is Thursday, April 20. What is it? The second. April 22nd. A year ago on April 23rd, 2020, April 22nd, 2020, I was just about to get off probation the next day, which meant freedom!
Right.
Freedom for me! And I'm thinking about that because I just got a call on the way. I ran out of the building for an hour to go get something to eat. I ran home real quick, and I got a call while I was there. A buddy of mine who's been in jail for over a year, and he just got out this morning. And he FaceTimed me. He got out about a month early. So I was shocked to see his name come up on my phone.
Right.
And so I was thinking about, we've without telling too much of y'all's story, let you talk for yourselves, obviously, but, we all have had some sort of justice involvement. I use the term justice somewhat liberally here.
Extremely
liberally. And it's got me thinking about what the transition between, being incarcerated or being on probation to going back into society, or at least getting out of jail and coming to a place like McShin. Something that really helped me was to have the support network in place, a non-judgmental support network. So with that, welcome to the show. Chris, why are you here today?
Why am I here? Excuse me. I was listening to you talk about the jail thing. Like, jail was never a deterrent for me. I didn't care. I mean, jail was like a nice break, especially in the later, in the last couple years being down in Florida, being on the street. Jail was nice, man. You know what I mean? They do your laundry for you. They feed you. You sleep. You play cards. It was, and I'm not promoting jail. I'm just saying that the mindset that I had was like, go to jail, go to jail, get my weight back up, get healthy again, have the doctors see me for free, make sure I didn't have anything that was fixing to take me away from here, and then, get back on the street and go hard as I could. And, because I had played the psych hospital game so much that I couldn't play that anymore. But, I'm here essentially because I had people who prayed me here, I had people who loved me when I wasn't lovable, man, and helped me get back here. I was introduced to recovery a long time ago, And my bad.
That's all right.
To the mic.
I just hit my nose on the mic there too, so
right.
I get too close to it.
But I had one friend in particular, a very, very close friend of mine, make it happen to where I could get home, and I'm very grateful for him, just to be here.
That's awesome. We'll talk more about that transition, but also, Dixie, I've known you since you got here, and I'm not really sure what you were doing before you got here, but I've known you since you got here, and I've watched you transition from, fresh here to now you're a staff member.
Right.
Like, not only a staff member, but a staff member with one of the most challenging jobs for sure, but also one of the ones with the most trust, because you handle the medication and the urine screens, and that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It really is, because I believe you're the right person for that job. So tell us, what were you doing before you got into recovery, and about the transition process for you?
So a lot of my story also goes to like me being in jail. I started using at a very young age, and I'm from a really small town, so when I moved to Richmond, within a month of me living here, I caught my first charge very quick. Chesterfield County. And so, I've done 2 years on and off between the jails around here, and I would go to jail, do a few months, get out for a couple months, go back to jail due to my using, get out. It was just like a revolving cycle. And then a couple months before I came here, I caught my second possession charge in Chesterfield County from an overdose. And, you know, I went to jail. They didn't give me a bond. And then I went for a bond hearing, and they gave me a PR bond. I ain't never had a PR bond in my life. So I was like, what is going on? But the stipulation of my bond was to, like, go to the mental health place in Chesterfield and do groups and stuff there. Which I did, and I was on color code and everything. And, you know, I worked a way around the system when it came to that. So then holidays came around because I caught my charge in November. So then, like, Thanksgiving came around, and Christmas came around, and New Year's came around, and, you know, POs were shut down for the holidays. So I started using, and I'm what I say, a chronic overdoser. I overdose almost every time I would use.
Wow.
And so before I came here, you know, I had overdosed like 3 times in 5 days that week. And I remember the last time, it was January 31st of 2019. I got home from the hospital acting so casual as if nothing had happened. And my family walks in. My mama lives almost 2 hours away, and she had custody of my son. And, you know, I'm like, where's my kid? She was like, oh, no, we are not doing this. And I'm like, why are you here right now? My dad, he's a retired vet, he's retired from the Army and retired police officer. He walked in, too, and I was
Your dad's a retired police officer? I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a piece right
Yeah. So, they came in and they, like, did, like, an intervention on me. And after a lot of arguing and crying, they were like, you know, like I said, I always went to jail. I never got any help. You know, I just always got incarcerated. And like you, I was fine with that. You know, I did my little time. I sat down for a little bit. I would gain some weight. But I didn't have any responsibilities. So jail time was a little bit easy for me because I had no responsibilities in there. So this time they were like, you're going to the McShin Foundation. I was like, I have no idea what that is, and it doesn't sound like I want to go. And they were like, no, you're going. And so I fought. And, you know, the day before I came here, I was supposed to take a drug test for my pretrial officer for that second possession charge. Mind you, all the while I'm on felony probation for my first possession charge. So, you know, I was supposed to go take a drug test that day, and I told her, I was like, I'm going to get some kind of help. And she was like, I don't care what you have going on. Come in here and take this drug test. And I was like, okay. And then she called me back like 20 minutes later. She was like, do not come in here and fail. She asked me what was going on. I was honest. And she was like, don't come in here and fail this drug test. Go get help. And I was like, okay, like that's God doing something for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's a sign. Like, this is the only time I've ever got a PR bond. The only time my PO's ever given me a break ever in the 5 years I have been on probation. So I came here, and at first it was just to like make my family happy. And then after I came here and I stayed for a little bit, I was like, oh, this ain't that bad. And so I stayed for a year.
This ain't that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You, Chris, are now transitioning into a position here as well now, which is freaking awesome. And you are now a house leader in Chamberlain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where I was a house leader, you know, Chamberlain, and actually where Justin was a house leader once upon a time. Justin was my first house leader when I got here at Chamberlain.
Right on.
And then I was house leader at Chamberlain a little bit after that. But after cricket too, he was yeah. I love that house. I got a special fondness because of that.
Yeah, I like it. It trips me out, the location. You know, I mean, just you know, you're talking about things. You know, nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Not to quote the book, but you know, the thing about ending up clean in a house in an area where I've did a lot of ripping and running and copping, and you know what I mean. It's just it's not coincidence. It's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, is what it is that, you know, that some of the places that we end up, you know, the sordid places, so to speak, that it's just really, it's a blessing to be able to go back into that type of environment with a different mindset and see things differently than I've seen it. You know what I mean? In the madness. And so it's just different.
I was in D.C. on Monday, and I spent a lot of my using days in D.C. You know, running around in those spaces, and I had a friend from out of town visiting with me, and sort of on autopilot, I said, all right, well, we're going to go to Georgetown, and we're going to go to X, tavern. Well, I can say it on the air. Martin's Tavern. It's just this old historic tavern. It's a really nice place, but the kind of place that I would sit there and get wasted at, and then do the other stuff that I would do.
Right.
And as I'm going in there, and of course all the COVID, and there's nobody there. The whole town was really shut down. I was really my first time being there since the pandemic. But I went upstairs and I went to use the restroom, and I thought, memories flooding back of the things I did in those restrooms, and I went, wow. And I've had those experiences in recovery, where I've gone to other places, and early on, anytime I walked into any public restroom, I would my thumb would go right to my watch pocket in my jeans or, whatever, because that's where I had stuff. Right. And those building new associations. But that was a big one. I didn't realize just how much that would be a bam thing on Monday. And, fortunately, I've got some tools. I can realize, what? Just because I'm here doesn't mean I have to drink or use drugs. Just because I'm here doesn't mean I have to feel like crap. Or just because I'm here doesn't mean the world is going to end. In fact, I can sit here and have a crab cake sandwich and some French fries with a friend, and that can be okay too.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Right. I remember having a similar experience and realizing that ibuprofen really does take care of what hurts me. Like I don't have to seek out a narcotic to, because for me, pain was always a factor that led to, I'm an opiate addict, but, so my brain doesn't register the difference between heroin and Percocets or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I know with my physical problems that I've had, I walk into an emergency room and I hold my neck and they go, oh my God. And, here and, so to just, you see me every day eating ibuprofen.
Yeah, he comes to my office every day.
Mm-hmm.
But, ibuprofen's never had me ordering off a canteen, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have to keep it really that simple for me. And the profound psychic change that they talk about, like I finally get it now. It's like being able to be in the same situation, not same situation, but in the same, like you're talking about the tavern, I've been in Adams Morgan, all that, you know what I mean? But in a different psychic space, it's a whole new experience. I see it differently. Nothing changed, but everything changed. I changed, you know what I mean? And I'm finding like the people that I used to like be attracted to or drawn to, like now it's like you're really cruddy and I must have been lonely as hell. Like, oh, my bad. You know what I mean? Like I can't even, it's crazy. So, like, everything's changing, and it changes every day.
For my first year, like, I never went to my mom's house. That whole town, like, when I would go, I went probably a couple times out of, like, my first year. I always made her come up here. And, because every time I would go down there, it's, like, literally, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's nothing. And so, like, every little dirt road that you would pass or every little gas station or the Walmart or any parking lot, it was always, like, memories of just using and stuff. And I struggle with that a little bit now. I try to, like where I'm from, it's really pretty. So now I don't really relate it to that as much. I try not to. My mom's house is a little bit different. I was raised in that house. A lot of stuff went on in that house. But, it's just, like, the places, even Chesterfield, it's like sometimes that still messes with me, going through Chesterfield, like in Chester and stuff like that. But it is what you make of it. Like, so now, like when I go to my mom's house, I just look in the beauty of like the landscape and the water and things like that. And I'm in a place now where like I can actually go down there and spend time with my family and feel comfortable doing it rather than making them come to Richmond to see me.
Mm. Yeah, that's and actually they want to see you too, don't they?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
my mom's at my house right now.
That's right. I forgot about that. With your son, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at home with your son, and is Jason around?
Yeah, he just got back in town.
So
he just brought me Red Bull. I needed it.
Man, so you got the dream right there.
Yeah.
You got the relationship. You got the relationship with your son. You got your mom visiting with you and staying in your house.
I just enrolled. Well, so it's it's weird. I was thinking about this yesterday, like how much things have changed in the past 2 years. Like, I went from CPS telling me I can't even have any contact with my son, period. I went to jail for being in the same house as my son for violating a protective order. And now it's like, I got custody back of him. Ain't nobody, nobody's telling me I can't have any communication with him. He has his own room in my house. I have his car seat in my car. And then it's like, I just enrolled him in school. You know what I'm saying? I was scared to death. I still call my mama about doctor's appointments and stuff. And I'm like, damn, my mama's always handled my son because she's always had custody of him. And then like, I had to go to the school by myself and fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. And it gave me anxiety. But when I'm doing it, I'm like writing down the emergency contacts and the pickup information and who can pick him up from the bus stop and all this stuff. And I was like really grateful because I started thinking about like, damn, I have people that isn't just my mom and my dad that I'm writing down on this list that I trust and that trust me that can go pick up my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like these relationships that I built in recovery, like that shit, sorry, it blows my mind sometimes. Like the progress and like, it's just amazing. I don't know. I get really happy when I talk about it.
Yeah. How do you find your relationships are improving or not improving now that you're in recovery and you're here doing as you're doing?
Oh, my relationship? Well, just the fact that I have any is an improvement.
Yeah.
You know, because I had literally turned into him. Like, you know, him when they say you can come but don't bring him with you. You know, like I was that person at the end. And my daughter, my 22-year-old, calls me last night just to tell me about her new job, and you know, just that she lets me play in the game because she had me on the bench for a long time. So she calls me. My 14-year-old, he went and competed in his first tournament last weekend and like called me before each one of his fights, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, and I guess I'm fortunate that this isn't my first go around with recovery and you know, 8 treatment centers and being, you know, we were talking about jail and being comfortable with that. I was real comfortable with treatment. Like I was real treatment smart. Real good with that book, knew what to come in and say to you. You know, like I didn't have a relationship with soap and water one day and then the next day I'm wanting to teach group. You know what I mean? Literally, like I got this type thing. And so it's been my challenge this go around has been like letting my children come to me rather than like pushing and feeling entitled and you know what I mean. Well, I'm back and I'm clean now, and you know they don't care. They've seen this, they've done this. Like they're hopeful, but they're not. You know what I mean. They protect themselves from me, and while that saddens me on one hand, it also, you know, I mean, it motivates me at the same time. Like. Because, I mean, I did a lot of damage, especially to my kids. Like, everybody else, forgive me, don't forgive me, whatever. You know what I mean? But my children, there's a lot of things that I did that I don't even know how to even begin to ask them to forgive me for. You know what I mean? So just being consistent and trying to be the best me I can be. But it's nice, man. It's nice being able to hop in the car and go with my best friend to get a bite to eat. You know what I mean? Or to, you know, just come up here to the church and just hang out, and people, you know, they think enough of me that they'll holler at me across the park, like, hey man, you know, just, you know, they're happy to see you. They don't turn around and go the other way.
Yeah.
You know,
is your best friend downstairs?
Downstairs.
Yeah, I was cursing him just before the show. Because he's his relationship with time is a little more fluid than, but that's okay. You got here on time. That's Jesse, if you're listening, love you. That's okay. I make up for it by not being on time in the morning. But
Not the grunt, the mumble at the end.
So we have Alyssa McEwen over here. Do you know Alyssa?
Yeah, she lives in housing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Well, we knew that already. So she says, "Hi, Dixie, Nicole Lewis."
I mean, she tagged me, put my whole. I mean, it is
Your
on
whole
Facebook, but
government.
she listed it all.
Well, I think so. As this comes up, it's probably tagged in Facebook. We just don't see it. It's kind of like the other day, somebody put the GB, and it shows up on Facebook as
what?
Yeah, so that's right. It said GB, and I was with Joey, and Joey and I just looked at each other and went gibba gibba gibba. And in fact, if you see Joey, go gibba gibba gibba. But apparently that showed up as the flag, the Union Jack of Great Britain, on the Facebook feed.
Oh, okay.
But all we saw was gibba gibba gibba.
Right.
So to the recovery, I forget what their name was, but it was a British group of recovery people. We love you, and we hope you come back to watch. Hope he didn't offend you, but so I love that these are the stories I love the most, right? I love these stories of I don't want to say redemption. That's a little religious in my view, but we talk about. I mean, maybe it is redemption. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe getting those second chances, to have those relationships with our families, to have those, to sit back. Like I love what you said about letting them come to you. I know that I have some challenging relationships in my life that haven't come back to me yet, and I'm sad about that. But I also know that I can't go after I can't force the relationship, and some people in my life I just need to let go of, obviously. And I have, for the most part. I still work on that. I get a daily reprieve. So relationships that I do get today, to have today, like, I keep talking about it, but it brings me such joy. I got to go take a participant with me. We went over to my sister's house, and I can't wait for you to meet her. I get to go sit with my sister and have the kids and the dogs and everything crawl all over us. And he had a good time, and I had a great time, and they had a good time. And I also got to log a recovery coach session out of it. Covered in dog hair and stuff, and I was like,
not kitty sticky stuff.
It's sticky.
Everything.
You know this.
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old. Everything.
And it was wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to have those relationships. And my sister will sometimes watch the show. My dad watches the show sometimes too, which is also kind of interesting and funny to me. But so, what are the challenges that y'all are facing now? What's new? What are the challenges that you are overcoming, and how do you overcome them now in recovery?
So like I said, it's really my kid a little bit. Sometimes, like, I went from not having him at all to only having him like Friday night, Saturday, and then taking him back Sunday, all while doing that, like working.
2 jobs.
Well, no, this is before I started working
okay.
here.
Yeah,
And then now it's like I got custody back of him. He's still living at my mom's house because he was in school down there, and I didn't want to pull him out of the school this year. But, like, I get him Thursday through Sunday, and, like, I'm with him now because, like, I only work here during the week. So, like, when I'm at home, I'm with him. But it's like and he's 5, dude. Like, he has a whole attitude. He is definitely my child. He's got a smart mouth. And so, like, I'm adjusting because my mom's had him, and, like, she's the grandma, so she, like, babies him and stuff like that. So I'm getting him now, and he's spoiled rotten, and I'm trying to adjust to that. So I'm just, like, trying to practice patience with him a little bit. I am struggling a little bit with, like, overcompensating for the times that I wasn't there. So, like, I'm also spoiling him a little bit, and I'm learning how, like, I need to stop that because now he's expecting it. But, like, having a child now, it's a little difficult. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm having fun. It's exciting. But it's, like, being on my own my first year and, like, just doing whatever I wanted to now having my child and about to have him full time. It's a big adjustment. So I'm trying to, like, get with it. I'm struggling with that just a little bit. Just, like, being a mom sometimes.
Being a mom. And you are working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
A full-time here and the part-time.
Yeah, I cut my hours back there. I couldn't do it. Like, being here in the morning and then leaving here and being there till, like, 11:30 at night was just not it for me. Like, I like sleep. I'm a sleeper. I like to sleep. So I work Sundays and that's it.
Well, and really it's 3 jobs because, being a mom is a job. You know, I have the utmost respect for moms. I lost my mom a couple weeks to be 4 years, and I had the best mom in the world, but I didn't realize she had 3 just like me.
Oh God.
So
I'm just
mean, yeah, man. I mean, and
So she was a warrior and a worrier.
she was, she was, and she always would tell me, you're gonna find out one day, and God has blessed me with wonderful children. But she always would say, like, there's no instruction manual. Like, they don't come with a manual. Each one of them are different. What worked for me doesn't work for my brother. And dads are important too, but not like a mama.
Right.
You know what I mean? A mom is, and it goes back to, for me, more than redemption, it's another R word. It's a restoration process for me. You know what I mean? And just like anything else, like I like watching the Bob Vila shows and, This Old House and, some of the stuff you hold on to. You know what I mean? Not everything about me is bad. But I got to get rid of a lot of the garbage to find the good. You know what I mean? And I have to be patient with me. And I lost the right with my children to demand anything out of them. So whatever they give me, I need to, but it doesn't mean that I don't want it. So when I'm asked what I'm struggling with, the talking the big book or the basic text or going to meet, that I've been doing that for. What I struggle with is being grateful for what I'm being given, even though I want more. Because that's my drug. I want more. I don't care what it is, food, time, just give me more. Trying to learn how to be grateful for what I have. And be grateful for what I don't have.
Right.
I don't have a toe tag. I don't have bars around me waiting on a cold bologna sandwich today. I don't have people looking to hurt me as much. You guys know this because I broke my neck. I was paralyzed in the hospital bed. You know what I mean? I can walk. My neck hurts, but I can walk. You know what I mean? Learning how to appreciate those things and it not just be lip service. You know what I mean? Like, my biggest curse is I'm real good with the mouth. You know what I mean? So, like, I can sound good, but am I really living grateful? And the answer to that is not always. You know what I mean? So that's my struggle.
Yeah. How wonderful though to have a program, and I know we all work a 12-step program that allows us to do that daily reprieve, that gives us that 10th step opportunity, gives us those 12 steps of that teach us a new way, a new way of living. And so, yeah, Justin, you're over there all quiet and like, what's going on over in Justin's world? I'm making you. Hi.
Justin's just waiting for comments to come in.
Yeah. Oh, silence.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Can anybody do?
So if anybody wants to drop a comment, feel free.
Drop a comment.
We love talking about stuff.
We love talking about stuff and things. What was it? Serenity and stuff that he's gonna put on it. Oh yeah. So Mo is painting his office downstairs, and he said, "I'm gonna put serenity and shit up on the wall." And I'm like, "Oh okay." I like that. We can say the S word.
Serenity and shit.
Serenity and shit. Yeah. No, I don't think he's gonna have like some baboons smearing stuff all over the wall, but.
No.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. So.
I mean, with Mo, it's never outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, right.
I think,
That's the fun thing about this place. You don't actually know. Sometimes people say something and they're telling the truth.
Although I will say I do like his new furniture setup. It does look a lot better.
It does. Yeah.
A lot better in there.
You know what's nice?
It opens the room up. It's more roomy.
It is, and the furniture that he has is just it's sturdy. And it's very good office furniture, which means it's comfortable enough to sit on briefly, but not so comfortable as to inspire someone to stay forever.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
I have a lounging couch in my office, and I like that. But at the same time, sometimes I'm like, get out! I need to do stuff.
Yeah.
You kind of end up sinking into the couch into your office.
Yeah. I mean, I've slept on that couch a few times, but and it's a love seat, but I'm short.
Yeah, the old couch that was down there was dangerous. It late in the afternoon. It'd get you.
Yeah.
And I just need to say, man, what I love so much about this is that, like, I thought I knew what having a good time was before. You know what I mean? I thought I knew what fun was, but, like, clean fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Different.
I had so much fun last night, Nathan, I got to tell you. Playing cards last night, I had so much fun beating people playing cards last night.
We're not doing this.
Well, no,
You know what I mean? But just fun.
would you have
know what
had
I
as
mean?
much
Or
fun if you were
today,
losing?
Probably because I talk. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're a
Just-
shit talker, huh?
You know, here's the thing. For me, or to come in here and cut up at the smoke shack, I get the opportunity on a daily basis to ride around with Rob, and I have so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely love the cat. You know what I mean? To the point that, like, you wouldn't know it to hear the banter between he and me, or he and I, or whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To hear us talk to each other, you'd think we were enemies. You know what I mean? But, like, there's nothing I wouldn't do for the cat. You know what I mean? And then, I don't know about you, Dixie, but every time I went to jail, the only person that ever put $1 on my books is the same guy that's downstairs. You know what I mean? All them people in the street that you think was cool, you don't see them. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when you come back, they didn't even know you were gone. You know, because they're so oblivious. You know, here there's genuine concern. There's genuine, you know what I mean? So when you feel whatever you know, if you're upset, people rally around you. If you're happy, people are happy with you. You know what I mean? It's the family that I've always wanted. You know what I mean? And so, but I had to poke the bear a little bit there.
Well, so speaking on that, you know, the transition from being, you know, in jail or prison, being incarcerated to coming back into society, you know, for however long you're in, for those who may be watching, you know, in jail, prison, you know, what are the challenges that are faced, you know, right off the bat, and how do you overcome those things? You know, for me and for so many people, I think not having my license, like not actually having a physical copy of ID, you know, and things, you know, not having insurance, not, you know, having food insecurity, housing insecurity.
Literally everything in life.
Yeah.
It's like I said, in jail, you don't have any responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they do your laundry, they feed you. You got a mat to sleep on. You got people to talk to if you feel like talking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you come home, you got to do all that stuff by yourself. Like you got to do everything by yourself. You have to find a job, and like you worry about like your record, preventing you from getting a job and getting to and from that job. And if you do have a car, putting gas in that car to get to the job in the meantime while you get paid, or feeding yourself. And if you got kids to feed too, feeding them. And like, it's literally everything in life that is required. It's a struggle. To get back on your feet. Like it's you got to start all over.
That sounds pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we overcome that?
Well, I think the thing that was really hard for me, you know what I mean, was that it wasn't the responsibility. There were so many things I genuinely didn't know how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a checkbook. You know, I felt like if I had a checkbook, I had money.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
still
I mean?
do. Yeah.
Yeah, so financially irresponsible.
Yeah.
You know, married and divorced 6 times. So healthy relationship, yeah, Justin, 6.
Wow.
You know, I'm very much in love with the idea of, you know, I play house really well until it's time to be an adult. You know, and then I stomp my feet and throw a fit, and you know, because my examples of what a man was, what a man did, were so off, you know. And I think that's one of the things about this place that, you know, and the thing, like you talked about, the jail part, what I missed wasn't, you know, because when I'm in jail, you know, I play cards, I do all, but physical, true intimacy, and I'm not talking about sex, I mean intimacy with a person. Like, all the men in jail got the man suit on, and you know what I mean? I can be me with Nathan. I can be me with Rob or Jesse, or you know what I mean? I can say, man, I'm scared, or you know, my son called and I didn't get what I wanted from him and it hurt my feelings. You know, you don't talk like that in jail. You know, so I missed that. And then there was nobody to accept my phone calls, so I'm looking at everybody else on the phone wall, and I can't make a call. You know what I mean? Now I got people to call me, you know what I'm saying? So I think how we overcome it. And I think what McShin does better than any place I've ever been, and I would have thought a couple of years ago, I'm alumni of another program, I argued that was the best. One of the things about here is that the men that are walking around, the heroes, the Walters and the Johns and the Jessies, you know what I mean? Each one of them and Nathans bring something different that I can draw from. Walter's spirituality is out of this world. Yeah. You know what I mean? John's experience, Jesse's, strength, all of those things make for one pretty solid dude. You know what I mean? And so if I look at it like that, and I'm not afraid to ask a question, hey man, how do I balance a checkbook, bro? How do I interview? How do I date? I don't even know how to date. Like I'm the dude that if we slept together, we go together. Yeah. Like, how do I go on a date? All of that stuff I need to be taught. The same way I was taught how to use, how to steal, how to do all those things. I need to be taught how to be healthy.
The dating part. I mean, I'm not to belabor that one. That one's something that I'm still working on. I've got decades and decades of destruction, and that's it's. You brought it up, and so now I'll continue on that theme. In early on, we suddenly the drugs go out of my system, and the hormones come back, the chemicals go back to restore. By the way, thank you for that. That was the R word I was looking for earlier. Restoration, right? Like suddenly I'm restored physically, and sort of with the emotional capacity of a 12-year-old, I think, but the restoration of maybe an 18 or 17-year-old physically. Right. Whoo! I have no idea what to do with myself, and it's easy to succumb to those hormonal urges early on, and to mistake, for me at least, mistake intimacy and sex.
Right.
And I know that trips up a lot of people. It trips me up. It still trips me up. I still have to figure out that distinction. So you've managed to have a successful relationship for a little while now.
Yeah, after I was hot in the ass when I first got here.
Well, I wasn't trying to put that on you. I was trying to put you in the success part right now. But if you want to talk about that.
Let's be honest here. Yeah.
Did you say hot mess? Is that how you just?
No. She said hot in the ass is what she said.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
I said, we're being honest. Yeah, but now, I am. It's been a process though. And at first with that relationship, it was just me doing the same old thing, and then it evolved. You know what I'm saying? And now we've been together for a year and a half, and we have built a little bit together. But like trying to manage being a healthy relationship is has been a struggle for me. I've been in some real toxic relationships, so him doing just nice things I don't know how to take, or him saying nice things to me I don't know how to take, or me not being a raging bitch all the time is different for me, because I'm used to arguing, you know what I'm saying? I'm real good at that, and we don't really fight, and I'm not used to it, so sometimes I'll pick fights just to have a fight, because that's what I'm used to. So right. Me just trying to adjust into a healthy relationship, it's been a process.
Well, and
he puts up with me though.
And a boundary, what the hell is a boundary? I was always good at setting a boundary, but I'd move it.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't cross this line. The cartoon, cross this line.
Right.
Or you cross this line. And then the thing, I'll start a fight just because, my thing was always, how far can I, do you love me this much or do you love me this much?
Right. How far can you push it?
Because I loved me this much.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't possibly believe that you cared about me because, you're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, obviously. And what I didn't know is all of these aspects of what made me me, what I was fortunate enough to, if you ever get invited to a round table with my sponsorship family, find a reason not to go, because no, I'm joking. But they you get to sit in the seat and they just hit you with the truth. Ooh. And one of the things that was said to me is that, the thing that people see in me, people want to be around you. You're charismatic. You know what I mean? You're funny. All of this stuff. But then the bullshit comes with it too. You know what I mean? But in the beginning, oh man, that's the coolest cat ever. You know what I mean? But then you wear on people. You know what I mean? You drag people, and let's work on that. Because the other part, the fun part, which made me like, my mama used to tell me like, baby, you're the best dad in the world when you're available. You know what I mean? Because I play house real good. But when so let's work on that side. And so, I get, and I hear you, bro. Like, I'm getting a relationship with soap and water again. I'm getting some weight up. You know what I mean? My swag's coming back a little bit, and I want to do all these things, but like, don't use folks. You know what I mean? Stop taking. You know what I mean? Just try giving for a change. See how that works out, Chris. You know what I mean? Type thing. And it's different. It's not good or bad. It's just different. Yeah. And I have to learn how to be with the different.
When I first got here, she's now a sponsor, but she was talking to me and somebody else, and she was telling me that we had to set healthy boundaries. And I was like, what does that even mean?
Exactly. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? And she had to like break it down a little bit, and I still sometimes, I'm getting a lot better at it. I'm a lot better at it actually, but sometimes like healthy boundaries, I struggle with it sometimes because I'm so used to the toxicity. So I don't know how to go about, like I said, having a healthy relationship for any type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my codependency runs deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I still get caught out on that sometimes.
Stepping on toes.
Well, and so, and a good example of how we help each other here in recovery, how we help each other specifically here at McShin, and how we can help each other in recovery is helping each other set boundaries and then helping to, what's the word? I'm holding those boundaries accountable. One way we've done that with your position is by installing that camera behind your desk, and it wasn't so much because worried about you; it's about the other participants. So, and that's a boundary. That's a huge boundary, and that's really awesome. So, Stacy, Stacy Nardi. Nardle. Is that an L or an I?
I can't read that far.
I need new glasses. But Stacy says, sponsor family, please explain. She says explain. So, Chris, you want to take that one?
We get together, and it's one of the things that I missed so much. And I need to, I guess, explain. I've known the guys in my sponsorship family. So a sponsorship family is like I have a sponsor, and my sponsor has a sponsor. So that would be my grand sponsor. And then each one of those has other sponsees, so they're in my family as well. So it's like I relate it to, if you want, like Episcopalian is Catholic light. You know what I mean? So it's like it's Catholic without the guilt. Yeah. So if I can't reach my sponsor, I can call my grand sponsor, and I'm getting the same thing, or I should, in theory, get the same message or treatment or step path that my sponsor got from his sponsor. So it's like getting the message, but from a different perspective. And that, to me, has made the whole difference. So what happens with us is that we'll get together, a group of guys, and it'll be, my grand sponsor and my sponsee brothers, all in a room. And, the rule is you can't surface share. You know what I mean? You got to get to the exact nature. Ooh. And they get to give you feedback and tell you the truth about you.
That sounds so tough.
Oh, it sucks, bro.
I'm full of anxiety just thinking about it. Seriously.
I would definitely try to avoid that.
Like, I'm sweating in my armpit, you know what I mean? Because I see it's getting close to my turn. Yeah. And I'm trying to find a reason to leave.
Wait a minute.
But what I've discovered, right, and the growth that comes from it, because it's all love.
Oh, for sure.
At the end of the day, I could call on each... was that?
I don't know. We have magical mystery noises. That bell is telling us it's 45 minutes. It wasn't, but
That's the your computer has updates, and I'm going to let you know it has updates by blinging at you.
For anybody who's out there and wants to sponsor Get in the Herd, an excellent opportunity would be to help us get some Macintosh, or I'm sorry, I guess they're not Macintoshes anymore, Apple computers. Gosh, I said
Well,
Macintosh.
it's still a Macintosh, but just Mac.
Just Mac. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, some computers that don't require such, attention-seeking.
Chris, you were talking about sponsorship families.
Right.
For anybody out there that doesn't exactly know what a sponsor is, can you explain that real quick?
Oh, I'd be glad to, because it's taking me a long time in my journey. I got introduced to my pathway of recovery, which is Narcotics Anonymous, in '89. Which dates me a little bit. And that was a
Were
1
you
and a
alive
9.
in 1989?
No, I wasn't even thought of.
Okay.
I'm 5 years behind that.
Oof. Okay. Just wanted to put
You know,
that out
they-
there.
do you know
I'm
what
old
they-
too. I'm old too.
You know that they call me Pappy. Do you know that?
Well,
Every time, see, I did not know that, and they kept talking about Pappy, and I'm like, who is Pappy?
Happy, yeah.
Yeah, and people think it's for Peepaw. They think that's funny. But a sponsor for me, at first I thought it was the dude that had the nice car. Then I thought, the literature breaks it down very simple. A sponsor is somebody who, it's not somebody who loans you money. It's not a marriage counselor, or a sponsor is merely a guide to take me through the steps of my program. Later they become a lot of those other things for me. They become a friend. They become, but I made a lot of mistakes in putting people on pedestals. I learned very early on, be careful who you look up to, because one day you might have to, pull them up.
Yeah.
There are no big eyes or little U's around here, you know what I mean? But a sponsor is somebody who's a more experienced member, Justin, who will guide me. My very first sponsor, it was my mother. That was my first sponsor in life. We have lots of sponsors. It's just in my pathway of recovery, that's what it is, and that's what we do. We hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And
Well, how does somebody find a sponsor?
well, I mean, for me, we use the term, find somebody who has something you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I already talked about it briefly. When I got here, I was real sick. I was really, really sick. I'm still
Sick.
I'm not well. This isn't Well People's Anonymous. You know what I mean? We're dealing with people that have a lot of different problems and hurts and hang-ups and stuff. So the things that attracted me at a certain point in my life, I wanted the car, I wanted the bling, I wanted the big booty Judy, I wanted all of those things, right?
Big booty Judy.
We're being honest. She got to be honest. Why can't I be
No,
honest? Right?
dude,
Right? That's what I wanted. I wanted
love
the
it.
gal,
Yeah,
because
of
I
course.
thought, and a lot of days I still get hung up with social acceptability equal in recovery. I wanted the status.
Yeah.
I wanted the desk. I wanted
Yeah.
the popularity. But today when I think of somebody has something I want, man, I want the peace. I want the serenity. I want the, you laugh being married 6 times. I can't be by myself for 5 minutes, but I grab you and put lifetime expectations on you. I need to find somebody that has what I want. Can you be okay without them? Teach me how to do that. Can I be enough without somebody? Because if I can't, I'll never be enough with them. So I got to work on me first. You know what I mean? And so that's what I started looking for. Like Walter. I keep going back to Walter. Walter has things that, I want just in everything that he does. Jesse, Nathan, John, you know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. I've never felt okay. I want to breathe. Those types of things. That's what I'm after.
I relate to that on such a primal level, because I had a sponsor for a long time who wanted the same things I thought I wanted, and it turns out he didn't have the things I wanted. Which meant he didn't know how to get those things either, and we were working towards things that that aren't as important to me now. And now I have a sponsor who has that peace of mind, that serenity, and I can go to it. I can get can get unvarnished truth, and he distills it real quick. He's a 6-word big booker. Trust God, clean house, help somebody. Yeah. So and I love that. It's have you prayed on it? Have you met it? And it's like I need sometimes I need to call and get that from him, but at the same time I'm like pretty much know what he's gonna say, and I love that because it's like I don't need nuance. I put the nuance into myself so much, and I just want that peace of mind that I'm enough.
Well, I think the important thing too, but just to interject, is that I also need to see the human.
Yeah.
I need to see the flaw in you. If somebody's audio and video don't match, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Anybody can sound good.
Yeah.
Stop telling me. I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you when you don't think I'm watching you. Not that I'm. Yes, we're not supposed to judge other people, but God gave me the ability for prudent judgment. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see what you're doing, and if what you're doing doesn't sit good with me, or it doesn't match what you're saying,
Yeah.
I had a daddy. I've been around you, a daddy.
I
just learned what a daddy was.
Wait, what is it? What is it?
That's a father. That's what a daddy is in Virginia, daddy. But my father,
I took that to a whole nother level.
My father was you do what I say, not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That was my example, and that doesn't jive with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you're, what the integrity piece, all of those things that I lack, that I see in the people that I truly admire, the guys, and the people in my life that they know it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say it to them as much as I should, but they know who they are and what they do for me, and I admire them on a level that I'll cry if I talk about it too much because they have been able to and are currently doing things that I haven't, and that's what I want. You know what I mean? But if you're not doing it, miss me with it. Get away from. I need to find. If my car's broke, I don't take it to the dentist type shit. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to be a married man, a happily married man, I don't hang out with singles and go to the club.
Right.
Oof.
I hang out with,
All us up here, but the video, whatever, the squad up here, and maybe get you on the
Geek Squad. Is that what I remember seeing it when they first started doing the computer things for like Best Buy and stuff to take your stuff to Geek Squad, and I was like, Geek Squad?
What are you saying? Because I wear glasses?
No.
Is this an extension of the Squeal team?
Right.
What is that? Let's talk after.
Saw, dude. Saw, dude. Instead of it's the whole Joey and Steve Worthington.
Oh, jeez.
What do they call it? Swole Team 6?
Swole
Stop
Team
it,
6,
please
baby.
stop.
We've been calling them Squeal Team 6.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm putting personalities here before.
I'm not gonna lift anything. I'm getting to the age. If anything that I lift that makes me make those faces, I'm putting it down. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it, and they do it on purpose.
I feel like I'm gonna poop my pants if I do that.
No.
Oh, jeez.
How do I look?
I want to
care.
throw
It's about
one more
comfort.
thing in.
They called you Pappy.
Yeah,
Who did?
yeah. Colleen,
Oh,
Chenault.
I will. Thank you.
keep up the great work, Pappy.
Nah,
Pappy.
I'm okay with being Pappy.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Dustin?
I was saying the last question that Stacy asks is, so how does someone get a sponsor?
Oh yeah, we didn't really answer that, did we?
Honestly, the easiest way, go to the rooms, sit in on the meetings. At the end of the meeting, at least 12-step meetings, you'll see people raising their hands that are available to sponsor people. If you hear anything that they say that you like, if you just like the vibe you get from them, go up and talk to them. Get phone numbers, that type of thing. People that raise their hand are very willing to sponsor and love doing so. And that's honestly the most straightforward way that you can get one.
I would like to add, I got a sponsor until I found the right sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Don't ever be afraid to change your sponsor either.
Yeah, I had to, my sponsor now, I pretty much harassed her for 9 months to be my sponsor. And she wouldn't sponsor me because I lived in housing. So the day before I moved out, and I was like, I just want to let you know that you're my sponsor now. And she was like, I'll think about it. And I didn't give her the opportunity to think. I was like, you're my sponsor. So I'm gonna be honest, I procrastinated a little bit on step work because I wanted to work steps with her. Like I knew I wanted her to be my sponsor, and I was being hard headed. But yeah, I got a sponsor until I got the right sponsor. And that don't work sometimes.
That's a really good. That was a really good. That's yeah.
Yeah.
As articulate as I am here, that means it's definitely come to the hour at the end here. But this was a really awesome conversation. I appreciate it. Awesome, dude. Awesome conversation, guys. I feel like a surfer, man. Yeah. Let's go rip some. What do
Who
I say?
have you
Rip
been
some
around?
curls or
Yeah,
rip some.
I don't know.
I've been-
He's made his way through that monster, so I think
Actually, I've
it's
had like 3
You should
27.
say none of those things.
Radical, dude.
Say
Yeah,
none, none
That's
of those
not
things.
all
yeah,
right.
there's sharks in the water. I'm not doing that at all.
There's sharks in the water. There's sharks in the building. Anyway, listen. Thank you, Chris, and glad to have you
I'm glad to be
here. Where
here.
we're
Thanks for
here,
having me.
around doing the thing you're doing. Awesome to have you on the show, and awesome to have you doing the things you're doing, Justin. Great to have you. By the way, I was gonna wait till afterwards to tell you this, but I'll just tell you right now. I really like your voice on the air.
Thank you.
I like you
You're,
both
you're
together.
actually not the first one to say that.
Yeah.
You're number 2 today. So
Oh well. All right, Todd.
very good.
Or was it Tanya?
no, it was not Tanya.
It was Todd.
It was not Todd either.
Ooh.
I'm gonna keep it a secret.
Ooh, I like
Anonymity.
secrets. Anonymity.
That's
Spiritual
You
foundation.
can't make him tell.
No, it's all right.
I'm so lost right now.
So-
I mean, I don't.
sometimes.
Welcome
never-
to my world.
Welcome to my world. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you. I guess Sunday, right?
Absolutely.
So Sunday we'll be broadcasting the what is it called? You want to introduce Sunday?
The Breaking the Bondage of Addiction Ministries, which Elder Walter Randall officiates, and he is so phenomenal. If you haven't, I guess wherever the camp, if you haven't found a faith-based, just because we, and I'm that guy. I'm really that. I hate to say the word junkie, but I'm that addict. You know what I mean? That struggles with the box of church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Walter Randall runs you just have to come check it out Sunday. It is one of the most phenomenal things to introduce 12 steps in the Bible together and find spirituality. I once heard it explained, and I know you're that religion is for people who fear hell, and spirituality is for those of us that have been there and don't want to go back. And that, just it truly the bondage of self.
Yeah.
And addiction. Walter does a great job.
That's Sunday at 9:30.
9:30.
Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pay attention to this space. We will have another edition of Getting the Herd on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Special guests TBD, to be determined, but we will have that. And if you have any ideas for future shows, hit me up. Let me know. Hit me up. Let me know, bruh. All right, I'll stop doing that. So let us know other questions you want to talk about. We value and talk about multiple pathways of recovery. I do a 12-step, but I also do a Buddhist recovery pathway that meditation adds on to my spirituality. And have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.